of masculinity?
Masculinity, my personal definition would be like an overbearing sense of manhood, thinking that it's a man's job to bring money to the household, for him to be a heavy influence on any sons in the home, to bring in all the money while the woman kind of works and takes care of the children, and having just a really heavy, like, overbearing force of like, oh, I'm a man, and making women kind of feel superior to that. Or
Do you believe that masculinity is defined?
It's too much. Masculinity is strength. You hear someone being masculine, you think of a macho guy. So I don't think.
No, I believe that it's a lot of stereotypes of men having to be aggressive or violent. I guess to be masculine or fit some sort of generalization. So no, I don't think so.
I think masculinity in the media is pretty much, because I took a technical class on it, but like it's pretty much shown in the most like, I guess you could say, discreet way possible. Like it's discreet in the sense that you can't really tell it's masculinity being shown, but like male models, the position in which they stand, like the fact that their muscles are always exposed at all times and stuff in the media, and that's like in the advertisement media.
They paint a very descriptive picture of what masculinity should be, quote unquote should be. The fine chiseled body and masculine. There's just some things that we are supposed to see, and that is the perfect man. And most of the times, even with movies and that, they put it to where every every 3 male actor have 1 female actor. In the sense of that, just to show the dominant form of man, as men themselves. And that's everything from animation to like movies of what men's are.
Pause it. I mean, that doesn't necessarily go for everybody, because some people understand that it's fantasy. It's something that you watch for entertainment.
But at the same time, like growing up, young boys especially are like expected to be like the whole phrase "boys will be boys."
Girls will be girls.
Yeah.
Like they're expected to be on the more aggressive side. Like you're expected to want to pick up a ball and throw it or shoot it or something like that, rather than maybe sit down and pretend for something.
That's the way it is. No, that's just how it goes.
It's because we keep being fed that this is how this works, this is how should be, that we are held at a standard that isn't always relevant to who we are.
But
I think there's a fine line, but I think that just not necessarily being too masculine, but maybe being too assertive at times or too overbearing with masculinity is the problem.
Pretty much. And
I mean, it's a funny topic to discuss as a man, because it's like you're trying to be more aware of like those kind of things, in the sense that you don't want to overpower your female counterparts or make them uncomfortable in any other way, especially like in the sense that certain groups of males are considered more intimidating when it comes down to their masculinity.
Can you time out?
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody's human and everybody has feelings or emotions. So.
Right.
You can be shown through that.
Yeah.
Definitely. I feel that crying doesn't make you any less masculine. I feel like, I don't know.
I definitely do think that it's fine. I mean, everybody has emotions and they have the right to express those. I think that society-wise, like, it's not really accepted in men are looked at as supposed to, you know, be a man, be strong, have no emotion, like that's girly, don't do that, don't be a bitch, people say.
Feel like they're not men because they don't do the stereotypical like masculine things. So it just makes some men feel feminine, really.
Inferior in some. Yeah. It's.
I think it's all about upbringing. Different cultures have different ways to raise people. Different cultures in different places raise people different ways. So I guess if your father raises you one way and tells you this is how to be a man in that way, and then you got someone across the world telling you how to be a man another way, that's how you think that's what you think is true.
Mm-hmm.
So masculinity can vary among different cultures. Yeah.
As far as what they've been shown, like growing up, a man may use it like, oh, well, this is what I saw my dad did, or this is what I saw my brother do, so this is the way I act.
Right.
Definitely.
In European cultures especially, now the whole kiss on the cheek thing, the way my family is being Creole, is that we've done that since before I was around. So it ain't nothing out of the norm for me, but it's out of the norm for other people. But with Europeans, my time I spent in Europe, they have things like, especially in Eastern Europe, they have these things called kitsch parties. I think that's how you pronounce it. Where literally people cross-dress.
Yeah.
And like my coaches were like, yeah, be culturally accepting, go participate in that. And I'm like, no, you're not gonna catch me cross-dressing. Like, no. Like, and especially as an African American man, I feel like African Americans specifically have a hyper level of masculinity that we kind of have to have because of the society we live in. Like, we have to be a tad bit more aggressive than some of our counterparts.
Yeah, it all depends on the culture itself. But masculine is portrayed by a single origin, a standard, as to, you know, what we are. But like, depends on the culture, it can, you know, change a little bit according to those culture. And the cross-dressing thing, that's just strange.
Yeah,
That's just really
And that's the thing about places like Europe. Europe is a very progressive continent. And a lot of the countries in Europe are very progressive when it comes down to things like the lines between femininity and masculinity, the lines between what's society.
I don't think the word or just masculinity in its own has changed even.
I actually don't know. I don't think it's changed much from. I don't think it's changed much throughout any cultures. I think it's basically stayed the same. What men have to be violent or aggressive and be the providers, and women are supposed to be passive and emotional.
Stereotypically masculine.
Definitely. I think that whatever they want to do, whatever would make them happy is what they should do. That's what's gonna make them most successful in life, is just being happy and being able to express themselves. So something that's not necessarily seen as what men do, I would have no problem at all.
Like, honestly, if I had a son, I want him to be like how I did. Like, you know, do shit. Don't sit and play with houses and, you know, dolls. Yeah. But
And it's more so because, not so much that you don't want him to do that, but more so you don't want him to be ostracized by society.
correct. But
No, you could go ahead. I
But-
was just saying that you don't want him to play with that Barbie doll because society says that he can't play with it because then that would make him
feminine. You're correct. But
Exactly. And in my mind, I don't want my the one godson, the first godchild I have,
But-
to be ostracized and
we-
deemed effeminate when he's a man.
But we set the.
You don't want his son to have a feminine father either.
Correct.
I feel
It's
like-
just because, but that's also the fact that we set the standard to what is feminine, what is masculine. Like, we set those standards way before it ever happened.
Right, I get that, and sometimes I disagree with that, but at the end of the day, as much as I, in an intellectual manner, in the realm of politics and intellect, would like to say, yeah, that's wrong, at the end of the day, when I'm at home and I'm with my family, no, you're not gonna play with that baby doll. That's not your role in this family.
I totally agree with you sometimes. Honest opinion. I wouldn't want, my little girl or something in the future to, start fighting and beating up.
But see, that's different. Want to overpower your female counterparts or make them uncomfortable in any other way, especially like in the sense that certain groups of males are considered more intimidating when it comes down to their masculinity.
Can you time out?
With femininity and masculinity in the perfect balance, I think it's this kind of thing where mothers give care and fathers give out discipline and stuff like that. But I think it's a balance where each figure can do both. I think that's what the ideal image of masculinity and femininity in relation to each other can be, where one can both give love and discipline, one can be both aggressive and passive at different times when necessary.